like to welcome our honorable guests that are representing actually most important partners of BLIK, which is merchants and acquirers. So I'll start from my left side. Welcome, Krzysztof Gawronek, board member and head of engineering of PayU. Then I would like to welcome Renata Vaivade, senior market development manager of EMEA region of PPRO. I would like to welcome Tim Van Diest, managing director of Adyen for Central and Eastern Europe. And last but not least, Aleksandra Sroka Krzyżak, vice president of Allegro, responsible for group strategy and corporate development. All right, so let's kick off. We've been talking yesterday about the future of payments in general, and we had a pleasure to see the report of Deloitte. But I would like to deep dive with you a little bit on payments in e-commerce. This is a very exciting area and our most important area of interest. So I will start maybe with you, Tim. What do you see? What trends, what changes in payments and e-commerce industry in this special relationship?
Thank you. It's a very broad question. First of all, thank you for having me. I'm not so often on stage in Poland. My Polish is not so good, but I'm very happy that I'm with this great panelists here. So thank you for having me. Payments trends. I think it's very broad. But if you just go back like 5-10 years in time and see where e-commerce was at that time, and where payments were in those times, I mean, I think BLIK 7 years ago, I don't know how many transactions you had, but it was not so big percentage of the market.
Few.
Very few. If you fast forward 5, 6, 7 years, you're dominating the market. And I think this is exactly what's also happening in the e-commerce world. And it's the whole ecosystem. It's logistics, it's all the data storage, the whole infrastructure around e-commerce is changing rapidly. And payments is a key factor in that. It needs to be seamless, it needs to be in the background, and I think that's what we see happening all around. For me, in Adyen we don't talk about point of sale anymore. We talk about in-person payments, because I think that's, for me, the biggest change in payments is that we see the e-commerce landscape move into brick and mortar.
I was about to ask the question. Do you see that happening?
Yeah, massively. And I think that's a very interesting trend where, for instance, you go to a restaurant, you take your phone when you want to pay, you scan a QR code on the table, and you finish the transactions in the online world where you're actually eating, of course, in the physical world. And I think there are many examples, and I think hospitality is a very fast-moving industry in this, but also retail. We see a lot of that. I mean, if you've ever been to one of the new flagship stores of Adidas, for instance, and you look at there, it's one big adventure you go into. You have these magic mirrors when you use a mini RFID, you scan it, and you all of a sudden in the mirror you see you wearing that shirt or that pants. And then also on that same screen you say, I want to have this in this size and I want to order it to my home now. Yeah, that's, for me, really unified commerce in one sentence. Like having the online and offline world in one. And I think that's great new things around e-commerce and payments.
Okay, thank you.
Great experience, and just to add, like the payment methods as BLIK, you are doing exactly the same, omni-channel, traveling from e-commerce to POS to also serve your consumers to be able to pay.
In the best way. Aleksandra, what is your perspective on that as a representative of a marketplace?
Sure. I mean, I'm speaking more from a kind of a client perspective. From our perspective, payments, for the question, how clients want to pay, they want to pay very fast, very simple. I mean, almost invisible, but secure. Yeah, and it's as simple as that. But I mean, then for you, it gets complicated to make it that way. I think that's why in Poland, on Allegro, clients loved BLIK because it's simple, it's invisible, it's secure. They loved Allegro Pay, so this is now a buy now, pay later method because it's cohesive. In few seconds, you get paid and you can forget about it. And so that's why, I mean, I fully agree with yesterday's view. Yeah, what will happen in the future? I mean, for example, one interesting thing that we are observing right now with our team is that, for example, open banking is starting to pick up, yes? And last year, you remember probably, I said that's the last time that I'm talking about open banking because we are selling the dreams that basically doesn't work, yeah? And I need to say, I mean, in Polish we say odszczekać, yes? So, I mean, I was wrong. I mean, we see the progress, yeah.
Okay, Krzysztof, would you like to add something?
I think that we can see from the history of market how this payments influence, how e-commerce influence payments. So in Poland, for example, more than a few years ago, we started with pay by links, which were like you said, the way to pay faster and easier. Now we have BLIK, which is another level of easy payments and speeding up things. Open banking, which is derived from the fact that before we had a screen scrapping like Software did, and we wanted to get somehow regulation around this screen scrapping, and now we have open banking, which is fast, which can produce some instant movement of money from one account to another. So this e-commerce and big players and marketplaces are influencing this payment landscape a lot. So both technologically and legally, because regulations are catching up with the reality and the fact that we are speeding up.
Exactly, thank you. We've been talking as well that one of the trends is the consolidation and co-opetition of the payment methods, but we still in Europe observe quite big fragmentation of payments, and we have many local and so-called alternative methods of payments. Actually, we in BLIK are one of the local payment methods. And we know, for example, from Stripe data that local payments introduction can drive up to 40% of sales growth. So, Renata, you as an expert of local payments, what is your view on that?
Yeah, so local payment methods are at the core of PPRO proposition. So it's our heart, working for 16 years and very successfully integrating these all local payments around the globe. And definitely Europe is very fragmented with different local payments in different countries and different successes. So Poland is a very specific with a, I would say, superstar BLIK. We have other examples in Europe too. In Portugal, we have MBWay, and then other countries also showing leading, performances in this local payment schemes, which we cannot call alternative, which is a mainstream, I would say. It's not that it's a question, should we have alternative payment method in the checkout? Not anymore. It's a must-have.
Actually, it's not fair to call it alternative.
Exactly. Yeah. It's not.
Definitely.
We need to change. Yeah. So that's why it's a local payment scheme. And looking from the user perspective, I was really wishing for the times when I'm coming from Luxembourg to be able to pay with Payconic on the BLIK rails and vice versa, for example. Of course, this will have different impact on business and on the corporations, this consolidation, but from the user perspective, this will be much seamless and easier. And definitely we see this uplift. So PPRO is servicing payment service providers with these payment solutions. And when they are implemented in their merchant checkouts, the uplift is up to 40% exactly, as you said. So that's why I'm telling that this is not a question, should we have or not? It's going for the merchants trading into different European countries. You need to understand the specificity, how the user prefers to pay. So that this is exactly crucial moment in the payment, that it's a momentum when the user makes a decision, I want to buy it, then this flow needs to be completely flawless, seamless, trustworthy brand, I feel secure, easy, and if you cannot find your preferred payment method, so you just lose transaction.
Exactly.
Definitely. And with PayU, we have our motto is global reach, local expertise. So for us, local payment methods are the core of our business. We have local entities in all our markets that we are serving. So we are in the core of local payments. And because this is, it's not alternative payment method. In Poland, it's like 70%, so not 40%, but 70% is served by our local payment method. In other countries, depending on the country, and the card has bigger reach or smaller, but everywhere is the same. So, and yes, this trust that you've mentioned is very important. People needs to know that this is the payment operator, this is the issuer that they know, their bank, and then they feel safe, because otherwise they have this hesitation before payment, and if they have hesitation, unfortunately, sometimes the transaction is lost, and we want to get rid of this attrition and make everything smooth. So, and even with a solution like PPRO, like PayU, you can pay for everything in your local payment operator, because we are serving all the local payment methods. So you as a merchant can have access to all the payment methods from all the countries, and you can, if you of course want, and you have shipping capabilities, you can present these payment methods to customers of your clients, and make them feel at home, even though you are buying from, I don't know, Spain or whatever. You can pay with your own bank or with a BLIK in Poland, or other favorite payment methods that they know, recognize, and trust.
Yeah, sometimes I get the question, like, what is going to be the winner in this space? And I think we talked about seamless payments. I think the winner in this space will be the payment methods, which is as seamless and as much in the background as possible. So I think recurring shoppers, they don't want to go through a whole flow again. So for me, the fact that BLIK is working on this, that you see a lot of local payment methods are working on these recurring options, I think that is in the end for the merchants, for the clients like you who use this on your website is key.
I mean, for us it's very simple. I mean, clients like shopping or love shopping, but they do not like paying or love paying. Yes, I mean, sorry for saying that. So I mean, in that sense, it's the smoother it gets, the bigger conversion. Yeah.
True, but adding to that, there is a quite big group of shoppers that wants to have control over what they are doing, and that's why, for example, BLIK, with the fact that you need to accept it, you feel this control, because with recurring and with like zero-click payments, there is this a little bit afraid that, oh, where is my money? Why don't I control it? So what we can see, and we see it in the past as well, like zero-click payment methods are not the ones that people trust, and so we will be thinking, and the successful payment method must be seamless, but users must have this feeling that they're controlling, like, you know, again, with the BLIK, yes, with the Apple Pay, you need to click. It's super easy, but still, it is something that this action, the act of buying, for many buyers, is important.
Thank you. You are so active that I didn't even manage to ask the question that you already answered. So yes, because it was about the customer experience and satisfaction and the role of payment in the process of e-commerce shopping. Yes, so that's super crucial, and the safety as well.
Just to add, I think, Monika, all your numbers for the BLIK success, 70% of e-commerce of this market, this is completely, recognizing that users really recognize your flow, easiness, seamless, trust, security.
Yes, I remember the times when we had to go to merchants and convince them to have BLIK. Now they come to us saying, yes, we want to have BLIK. What do we have to do to have it? It's nice. It's really
this is a pivoting
good place
point.
To be at.
Yeah.
All right, the time is almost finished. We have 5 minutes, so let's make a quick round, and let's talk about new payment methods, new payment solutions, and I mean BNPL, and maybe most future like NFTs or crypto. What do you think will be their role in e-commerce payments?
Okay, so so BNPL is already here, and it's growing. So you can see it on Allegro, you can see it on other solutions. We have also other BNPL solution, PayU. So this is growing, this is here. It's not a question of tomorrow. This is something that is very popular. Regarding the crypto and other new payment methods, today there are some strugglings regarding legal stuff, and not all regulators look with a pleased eye on the crypto. But there is MiCA coming, MiCA regulation, which will put some order there. So hopefully with this there will be some movement in this area. Also, I think that I don't know if in a paying with crypto, but crypto will be used in the payment process for payouts, for moving money between the countries, between economics. It's happening today, but it's not still that secure and like 100% legally accepted by all the regulators. So yeah.
I mean, I don't have a glass ball, yeah, so I don't want to kind of play with this forecasting, but I totally agree that there is a huge difference between methods like buy now, pay later and crypto, just because I believe the paying methods is as good as the use case behind it, yeah? There is a very strong use case for clients using buy now, pay later. They need this product now. They unfortunately can't afford to buy it, to pay today. That's why this method is, if it's done very cheaply or, I mean, at a zero cost, as it is on Allegro, then it's a very kind of fulfilling, very important need of a client. With crypto, honestly, myself, I don't see a need at scale why customers would love to have that method. Maybe I'm not seeing something, maybe it's like kind of a foreseen future, but I'm really afraid of inventing a method with a hype rather than with a real consumer need, because then we can spend a lot of money on the technology that actually nobody needs. Yeah.
Yeah, I think on buy now, pay later, our view is I think it can be great, but if you have a credit card where you can use credit, you're screened very well. In the buy now, pay later world, that is a bit different. Sometimes it's too easy, especially when buy now, pay later providers are fighting for market share. But I do feel that it's a good way of giving the opportunity to more and more customers to buy. In Brazil, for instance, paying back in installments is not because you don't have money, it's just because it's ingrained in their way of working. So it's even more necessary. In Sweden, there were new regulations that you cannot put buy now, pay later on top of your checkout anymore. So you see regulations coming on this buy now, pay later.
To limit it.
We support it. We support many of them, and we think it's great. But we have to be also responsible.
That's an interesting point. Yeah, thank you.
We're at impact here, so I think responsibility is also
very important.
Important. On the crypto, yeah, we tried it 6 years ago. But we decided to stop that. At that time, we were too early.
Too early.
But I still think it's quite. There are a lot of difficult aspects around it, especially about you don't know actually who is paying, and sometimes it can take long before it gets settled. Currencies change quite a bit over time. If you want to do a refund, and you don't know where to refund to. There are some issues we have to solve, and I think they're on it. But yeah, for now, we keep away from it a little bit.
Okay, thank you, team. Renata?
Yeah, I can agree with all the participants. And for me, also being an impact conference, the most important fact is a credit understanding for young people, how you use this BNPL, really to protect how you spend the money on what you spend, if the money is that easy accessible. On the other side, being an aggregator platform, it's not easy always to implement BNPL and scale to thousands of merchants, because every merchant, especially big merchant, has very specific needs and differentiate between these products. On crypto, yeah, I agree that we need still time and regulation to come completely into the effect. Yeah. And Monika, I just wanted also to thank you, just cautious of time. I'm so happy and proud to be in the panel, and we are 3 ladies. Normally in the payment events, it's mostly men.
That's true. Thank you for raising this point. And thank you. Actually, our time is up. So thank you, Ola. Thank you, team. Thank you, Renata. And thank you, Krzysztof.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Likewise.